silk painting with me, Ilona Sture. The color of resist is a very important and sensitive topic for me, and I will show you how to cope, how to deal with transparent resist, or gutta, or whatever you call it. I will give you 4 options, and 3 of them are absolutely perfect for using transparent resist, but the last one would be a little bit tricky. I'm going to use these marked squares to show the different options for using transparent resist. Silk is satin today. Since the resist is transparent, it's not very clearly visible. I will draw a different pattern in each square. Actually, I had the idea of painting a scarf. And at the end of the video, I will show you how it turned out. Well, the first drawing is done, now the next one. The focus will come back. And from this angle, the drawing is more visible. As you can see, the first 2 are geometric abstractions. By the way, I think that irregular geometry is the best pattern for beginners. The third drawing I draw recalling Gustav Klimt. I'm very fond of those scrolls. The last option, I will focus on it in more detail. I use a marker to outline the drawing, which disappears after a couple of hours, and maybe even faster. I could, of course, draw the pattern on paper, then pin it to the silk underneath, and then trace it with the resist. But those markers also can be used. It's faster and more convenient. And now, when I have a drawing outlined, I trace it with the resist. And there is a very unusual effect here. The color of the marker disappears under the effect of the resist. Here it's closer and more visible. I've never seen this effect before. I often use markers to make the resist colored, and I'll tell you about it later. This is what the undried resist looks like. And when it's dry, I can start painting. So the best option of using transparent resist is when the contour line is the main element of your image, when the whole image is created with an outline. I fill the entire image with one color and get a linear graphic. Silk can be colored, and the resist will take on the color of silk. In the second square, I will again have a 2-color graphic, also without gradations, a solid color. And here I fill the figures with black paint in a staggered manner. In this case, the resist color is part of the background, and here too there is no contradictions. Everything is organic and clear. I use a gradient from light to dark, and I change. Opposite the light area I draw dark, and opposite the dark I draw light. In this case, the resist color is also part of the background, so it blends naturally into the image. I decided to put white paper so that this square wouldn't be a distraction. And here's the fourth version. I'm painting those rows and I'm trying to make it picturesque and volumetric. And the white outline already disturbs me. It's very sharp, especially in the dark places. And the further I paint, the more obvious it becomes. The volume is lost and the picture becomes too primitive. This is just my opinion. It turns out that when I paint with transparent resist, it takes on the color of silk, and the painting will always be darker, no matter how light I paint. And thus, the line of the resist will always be lighter than the main image, and the light outline makes the image flat, and sometimes it even destroys it. And how will I correct this situation? Look, I take a permanent marker, preferably semi-dry, and begin to slowly overlap the white outline. And I already feel that the image is better, and leaf fits and is not pulled out anymore. Now I'm trying a black marker. Maybe it's a little bit dark for this image. This is permanent marker too. By the way, there are also textile markers, but I will talk about them in another video. You see, the leaves and the stem fit softly into the background. I also can add some veining to the leaves. Here I found a drier black marker. This is for the flower. I may add leaves this way and put a resist around it. but I like the idea of just drawing with the resist. In general, you can add more layers of outliner, as many times as you need. I took a semi-dry textile marker, and so gradually I muted the white outline, and now the rose interacts softer and more organically with the background. And again with the black marker. The outline at close range. This is how the leaf that was finished later looks like. I'd like to remind you that likes, comments, subscriptions are welcome. The more reactions you give, the better. And I thank all of you who reacts.